Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you prepared?
Prepared.
I have 3 notes, and one of them is Dr. Phil's a cunt, basically. More or less.
Out for the...
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Mostly Harmless with Matt and Sarah. I am Matt.
And I am Sarah.
And together we are mostly harmless with a side of fries and a bag of chips.
Fries sound good.
Just for you. We've incorporated fries into the kids' meals more recently. We didn't have French fries. We weren't a French fry family for a long time, besides the ones that come in fast foodicals.
Right. But actually, you can pop them in. I have this like toaster oven air fryer thing.
Isn't it just a toaster oven, isn't it?
No, it air fries too.
Oh.
And it makes the nuggets and fries in lickety split timing.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Well, once again, you asked, we answered. We've heard you as you've spoken, and we are here to respond. We have gotten reached out to through a comment on one of Sarah's YouTube channels. And it was from @MissIrish9 via YouTube, a request for Amy Bradley is missing. And boy, is she missing.
New fear unlocked. I feel like I come here every week and I'm like, oh wow, all right, note to self.
I'm curious, I don't think you need a new fear to not want to mysteriously vanish on a cruise ship.
Okay, so before we so this obviously, if you are listening to this podcast, hopefully you will have seen, it's on Netflix. It's called Amy Bradley is Missing. It's a 3-part docuseries. Could have probably been one.
It absolutely
I feel like
we're starting to come across this. So
yeah.
The documentary was a pretty solid fucking system.
It could have been a Dateline.
1 hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours split in 2, right? That's fine. Now, and I don't know if it's the algorithm, I don't know if it's sponsors, I don't know what the reasoning for it is. If you're going to make an episodic, but it's only 3 episodes, then just make it a movie. If you're going to make an episodic, it's only 2 episodes. There's no reason to break it up like that.
Yeah.
Since especially it's not like Netflix and HBO and all these streaming services that are doing these limited documentary series. Are like, it saves your spot. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh God, I only want to watch this for an hour, even though they end each episode with a cliffhanger and I watch the next episode immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
So what was the fucking point of the cliffhanger?
Yeah.
I just take issue with like this. Well, if we do 3 episodes, and this is what it is, if we do 3 episodes, we're going to make more money than if we do 1 episode. And that's really, it's like, okay, how can we stretch this into an unnecessary, because some of these docuseries there are episodes. The 3rd episode of this Amy Bradley is Missing was, in my opinion, completely fucking unnecessary.
Well, okay, so let me pull up. I have some quick notes with just a synopsis.
How did he get over here?
Oh, I moved.
What is he doing over my shoulder? Ooh, sorry, I didn't do it. What are you doing there, little guy? Hey, come here.
And he should be on.
What are you doing? How do you get on? What are you... Oh, there you go. Oh, is it dead? Hey! Boop.
There you are.
Sorry about that, fellas.
Wherever you go, there you are.
That is a true statement.
So Amy Bradley was a 23-year-old American who vanished under mysterious circumstances while on a Caribbean cruise with her family. They were aboard the Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Seas in March of 1998. Her case remains unsolved and is considered one of the most haunting cruise disappearances of the last several decades.
It's like I wanted to make a haunting joke, but then I'm like, I don't know, is that in poor taste? And then I'm like, do I care if that's in poor taste? And then I'm like, I'm just not gonna make it.
So essentially the nuts and bolts of her disappearance So they go on this, I think it was like a 5 or a 6 day cruise.
They like won it or something.
Yeah. The parents were insurance salesmen.
All right. Keep in mind, this was March 26th, 1998.
March 23rd, but yeah.
Fuck. I was so close.
You were really close.
Can't remember names, but.
So on the night of March 23rd, 1998, Amy and her brother attended an onboard dance party, and they were seen with members of the ship's band. Ship records show Amy returned to her family's cabin at about 3:40 a.m. Her father, Ron, recalled seeing her asleep on the balcony lounge chair around 5:30 a.m. And by 6 a.m., she was gone, along with her cigarettes and lighter. So, basically, it is now 2025. So, in a few years, it'll be 30 years. And she vanished without a trace, essentially. Yep.
She took her cigarettes as an ex-smoker. Wherever she went with purpose. Mm-hmm. So, this is... Not to interrupt your flow, is one of the theories is that she fell overboard or she jumped or was pushed or whatever.
That's what I'm going with that. That's my thought process.
But one does not carry, if you're sitting on a balcony as an ex-smoker, I would not ever have my cigarettes and my lighter after I lit my cigarette. I am never, like, there's no reason, unless I got up, put them in my pockets and fell overboard. Right?
Well,
like, because if I'm on the balcony...
maybe she was going to light a cigarette or something and tripped or whatever.
But you wouldn't be holding the pack after you pulled the cigarette out of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And on a cruise, and this is just me conspiracy riffing, on a cruise that you're allowed to smoke on, which is not the thing anymore, I'm sure... If I had a pack of cigarettes on and I had a private balcony like them, that pack of cigarettes would probably just be on the balcony. If I'm in my room for the night, I'm probably not taking it in and bringing it out. I'm probably just leaving the smokes out there, going to grab a cigarette and blah, blah, blah. So there is some of my own personal speculation thrown in there that she just left and got off the ship for one reason or the other.
But within a half an hour... Because her dad spotted her at 5:30, and then I don't know if he like went back inside and then came back outside, but by 6 o'clock she's gone.
Well, yeah, but he says by 6 o'clock she's gone. He didn't raise the alarm at 6 o'clock.
I think he did, like pretty much right away, and that's the thing, because. So, I mean, this whole docu-series is 3 hours of them riffing about conspiracy theories.
And it was the 90s, so unlike our cruise that we went on...
I was going to say, we just went on a cruise.
If you think about how... A half an hour, let's call it 15 minutes, because if she was asleep at 5:30, she didn't just immediately wake up and fuck off, right? Half an hour, right? It would have taken me from our room to get off the boat to the security that they definitely did not have in 1998. We had to go through basically a shitty fake TSA walkthrough on the way out in a line. I guarantee in 1998 it was get the fuck off, come on, who cares, we'll leave you at port, blah, blah, blah. It would take less than 15 minutes to get off the ship if they're at port. But they were at port in a place that they weren't able to.
At port.
I'm saying they weren't at they had to shuttle from the boat,
but
right?
They weren't. No,
or were they mid?
They were at sea, I believe.
Oh, I thought they were, because one of the theories was that she went off to buy drugs.
She was like, I think people. So I heard at one point in the documentary that people were saying that she was an experienced swimmer,
right?
That she was a former lifeguard.
Yeah.
That maybe, and they were close to, so maybe she jumped and thought she could swim to shore.
What they had said at one point was that one of the theories was that she stepped off the boat to find drugs, and then she never came back, which would, to me, you can't do that in the middle of the, like, no one's diving off a ship to swim to shore to find drugs. I mean, some real hardcore drug addicts might be doing that.
Well, let's talk about the theory that the parents have really latched onto, and the FBI now has gotten involved, and they've, there's this huge conspiracy theory that she was sex trafficked and that she was basically abducted.
Right.
off of the boat and then like sold
Yeah, one of the people
a
says that.
trafficking ring.
One of the people postulates that the whole cruise was all in on it.
Yeah, well,
Which
they
is-
would kind of have to be if to make something like that happen so quickly and effortlessly. But what was wild to me is that the parents, they have not let this go, obviously. I can't really blame them for that, but because there's never, a body has never washed ashore. They have no closure. So because
I do not have a frame of reference, so
Yeah.
my normal knee-jerk reaction to this situation, even earlier when I was talking to you about it, is like, you have to get over it at some point. But I don't have a frame of reference for
Right.
something, especially my own child. Like, I could
Right.
never, if something happened to Penny, you know, in my head, I'm like, well, she's 23. You've had your time. You know, it's not true, though.
Terrible happens to your kid. There's a certain amount of closure when you know what happened to your kid, right?
Right.
When you don't know, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I
Right?
guess.
So in that sense, I really don't fault the parents too
Well,
much.
I don't fault
but-
them for keeping
Yeah.
hope alive,
Well,
but it definitely...
on Reddit, some people think the parents had something to do with it because, you know, there's this whole thing about her sexuality being a problem for her parents.
Oh yeah,
and
guys, take a beat, and this is what I vividly remember from this documentary.
Yeah.
Is who was because obviously it wasn't Amy.
we saw two ex-girlfriends.
So the one of the
were-
ex-girlfriends is like,
the one with the short hair.
we were together, yeah, and her dad wrote me a 3-page letter, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, that's sweet, I guess, because when she came out, her dad wrote this letter. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Like, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, hey, blah blah, and it was a 3-fucking-page letter of how fucking disappointed that he was.
Yeah.
So like, first of all, that's the most fucked up thing. Like, not only that, you sent it to a non-family member, the girlfriend who didn't do in this situation where you're upset at your daughter and you're trying to assign some sort of blame to this. The girlfriend didn't fucking do anything except exist and fill the want for companionship. Like that, if anything,
you should be appreciative.
If anything, that should be appreciative because there's nothing.
If they're a good influence, a good partner for your
and that
for
we
your
don't know anything
child.
about that stuff.
Right.
But it is in that situation is like there is no worse feeling than feeling alone and without somebody. And the 90s was not a particularly LGBTQ time, a friendly time for people in the group. And that is a huge factor. And then not only that, you have a dad who felt justified in writing a fucking letter.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord.
And again, I don't want to rag on her parents.
I'm going to rag on that.
That was a bad parenting move. But so some people in the subreddits think that the parents could have had something to do with it. Her brother, whose name is Brad Bradley, which is a whole other...
He's definitely doing something illegal because that name does not just come with no consequences.
I don't know. It wasn't like, oh, I just took my last name as also my first name. I think he was named Brad Bradley. So I don't
he didn't choose his name.
But he has said
his unimaginative parents chose his name.
He has said some problematic things on social media. So
that'll get you every time, people.
It's like even to this day, do these parents and family still hold
a candle
problematic viewpoints about her sexuality? I guess her brother is out there saying she was bisexual, and like everyone that knew her was like she was gay.
Find that people try to do that in their heads to justify it being like, oh, this is just kind of a phase. And it's like, she's not gay, she's bisexual, and that's okay because that means she also likes men, which is what I prefer her to like. You know, like that kind of a thought process. I don't know
how much. So when you think of all the things that could have happened to Amy, there was this, end up, I think it was, I don't know if it was the end of the second episode or beginning of the third episode, we end up meeting her, I think at the time of her disappearance, her girlfriend. They had
This was the girl who was
the
crying,
one with
right?
long hair.
Yeah.
The message in a bottle
So
girlfriend.
just a quick note on that. This is the girl who I said she needs to get the fuck over this at this point. I'm like, the parents, the family holding the torch. This woman has been not with this person for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And she's telling the story and she's just like, I loved her at one point. And I'm like, I get that. I'm like, but you have to have moved on at this point. Like,
and maybe she has, we don't know. They bring them all together to talk about this. And again, if it was someone that passed away in a tragic accident, if you like, there is something to be said
closure.
about having a body to bury, to cremate, to do something with.
Yep.
When you literally don't know what happened to your loved one, they're having that open-ended question would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I know that to be true. But so I really don't fault any of the people in Amy's orbit for clinging to hope and for being just unsettled by the lack of just knowing what happened to her.
yeah, I do think. And then they had a guy that was like, oh no, one of the like the islanders, the people who lived on one of the beaches or whatever, was like, yeah, there's no way that she fell in the water because she definitely would have washed up on shore. And yes, there are sharks in the water, but the sharks wouldn't have eaten her all the way. She would have washed up on shore. And I'm like, well, okay. Currents and oceans don't just work that way. Like, yes, things do wash up on shore, but oftentimes, if you are in the right spot, you could be taken to fucking Europe before you wash up on shore, or you end up in the middle of the fucking ocean and you'll sink. I'm like, so that logic to me, especially growing up in a beach town, like, I'm like, you could literally, it's true, yeah, you could die 20 feet offshore and you may wash up at shore, but it'd be 2 miles down the beach. You know what I mean? And we're talking about islands. So like, it's not exactly like one small target to hit in the grand scheme. Not really sound logic in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then just like, and the sharks, they wouldn't eat all of her. They'd be like an arm or a leg. I'm like, oh, so they just choose a body part. They're like, okay, with sharks, we're done eating.
Well, I think what his point was that there would be remains.
Sure.
So, Matt, what do you think happened to her?
Oh, I think
what's
she
the
just-
most likely scenario?
She fell off the boat, she bumped her head, and she died. I don't know why there was never a body. Like,
but with her cigarettes, and because you were just saying,
yeah, no, I mean, like, I want to
okay.
climb a conspiracy ladder.
Yeah.
I am all for a conspiracy. I think they're fun. I'm like, of course, I'm making light of a sad situation, but in all honesty, there's just no. It doesn't make either. Okay, so there's the school of thought that says that she got this massive, elaborate plot to sell one woman into sex slavery that was literally planned before the trip even happened. Like, she was marked from the beginning, they said, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sure, that's a movie right there. That's like, what was that stupid Faraway K show that we watched that one time?
Oh, I forget.
We watched this whole thing about this girl who she died or something. She washed up on shore, and the whole movie, the whole like 8 episodes is pointing at this one dude. And at the last fucking episode, and they keep coming up with the evidence, and the guy's this, and it's so weird, and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? She slipped on a fucking rock and she died. And that's how it happened. Like,
yeah.
Every conspiracy theory in the world, you can run down all the things that could or would or should have happened. And in this world, sometimes I feel that in situations where there's no clarity, people tend to let their imaginations run very fucking wild.
Yeah.
And do people get human trafficked? Abso-fucking-lutely. It was the 90s a fucking Wild West of probably security for these these cruises? Absolutely. Is the reality of the situation that she was getting up and, unlike what I would do in the situation, put her fucking cigarettes in her pocket, fell off, and bumped her head? Absolutely. Oh, but she was a really experienced swimmer. What deck was she on? Have you ever jumped 50 feet into water?
If she came back to her room and if she was heavily intoxicated, which I think is the general
theme of this is that she's a lush. And
yeah, so if that's the consensus, that she was heavily intoxicated, comes back to her room, I could see. So a couple years ago, maybe like a year ago, Liam Payne passed away by falling.
One Direction?
Yeah. But, well,
they were never the same after Zayn left.
That is what is said. But he was on drugs. I think he was under the influence. And I think he was trying to like get out of his hotel room that he had been kind of like sequestered in. And I don't know if he jumped or fell, but he ends up falling off of his balcony and dying.
Yeah.
And it was just this tragic
series of unfortunate events.
Exactly. So, you know, when people are under the influence, tragic things can happen.
I have done stupid shit, and stupid shit has happened to me when I've been boozing, and it has happened. And so then you go into some of the more details, because then there's the entire second episode are these people that swear dead to fucking rights that they saw her. Because they keep going on about she's got a Tasmanian devil tattoo on her shoulder. She's got this. This is what her hair looked like. And I'm not even going to get to the FBI thing, the analyst yet. I'm just going to talk about these people. So Sarah and I went on a cruise, and I couldn't even tell you the fucking family members that we were on the cruise with. You know what I mean? Like, these people are like, one dude is like, I was on a beach on a cruise. No way this dude, I'm speculating this part, no way this dude was just stone cold sober. He's on a beach, you know, probably had a cocktail in him, you know. I saw that woman, her tattoos matched every description they were talking about. Now, meanwhile, none of this descriptive nonsense came out until after they had, like, lost her. It's not like the day they lost her, there was an APB, because, in fact, the lack of an APB was one of the reasons they tried to sue Royal. We need to talk
about that, yeah.
But, like, so this guy's like, yeah, the tattoo match, and blah, blah, and I saw her on the beach 100% with the fucking bass player from the band. And it's like, great, okay, that's fine. Except for I was on a cruise. And I'm not, I will say I'm shit with names, but I'm pretty good at remembering, like getting a big, I could not point out in a lineup if there were 9 out of 10 people that were on the cruise with us, I would likely somehow point to the person who wasn't, if you were asking me to name one person who was on that fucking cruise with us. But at least 3 people, this guy says 100%, not 99%, 100%. There's a Navy dude who goes, I was stationed. I went to a bar that I wasn't supposed to go to. The guy had a snub-nosed pistol in his belt when I walked up there, and he said, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just coming for a beer. And the guy was like, okay. Goes in there, and some woman starts telling him secretly, hushed tones, that she's I'm being held here against my will. And I've heard it all from all the people in Thailand and Korea and blah, blah, saying like the sex workers, they'll tell you anything to get some money and blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. And then she said her name was Amy What's-Her-Nuts and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to anyone because I was in the Navy and I wasn't supposed to be there. So I didn't say anything to anyone till years fucking later, but I came out and I said it, right? So he remembers it, but he didn't fucking say anything about it. Happens to have a great story, gets to get interviewed for a fucking documentary, and now he gets to play his little role about how, he was there and I was there. Mm-hmm. Just seems like a lot of people have all this perfect recollection. And one thing that even like FBI people will say is like, your memory is not
eyewitness
great.
Accounts are notorious.
Except for these people are eidetic. Not in anything else. They none of them have risen to great, perfect in society where if you have an eidetic memory, you can just remember everything on earth. It's reconnected to the camera. Like where you look at something and you just have a perfect recollection. Right. So you do great things with that. No, but these people, they're just living their lives, but they can remember specific instances where anything, they saw her 100%. And so it just feels like someone said, hey, I know you were in this area around this time, or people were talking, hey, weren't you stationed there? Oh, yeah, I was stationed there. Oh, let me tell you a story about this one time that I actually blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, pretty easy if you want to sound really cool or important or relevant, that you would have a great story that somehow was unable to locate a human fucking being that was being... Like, this guy was just matter of fact being like, yeah, I didn't tell anybody because I was in the Navy and I wasn't supposed to be there. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't tell anyone about, kidnapped sex slavery either when I'm serving our nation's military. But that's just how we do it.
There's two things that really just unsettle me about the story. I mean, I am of the opinion that a series of unfortunate events befell her and
death by misadventure is how that would be labeled.
Yeah, something like that. And unfortunately, because that is where I'm leaning towards Occam's razor type thing.
Simplest solution is often most times the
fact that the parents immediately alert the crew that they cannot find her. The parents did not wait, but the ship's personnel just didn't want to bother the other or the other passengers that had paid for a cruise. So they were like, too bad, so sad. You can like get off at the next stop, but we got 4 more days to go type of thing. That was kind of wild to me, that reaction.
I can devil's advocate this one because it really is like, this is what I was saying this exact same thing to you earlier. So this is a cruise. It's not their first cruise. This is not the Pioneer Maiden. All these people, the director's seasoned
But what if
people.
she's in someone's cabin and there's a serial killer on board?
Well, for sure. But what's the more likely scenario? Okay, you're with your family on vacation. You're a 23-year-old girl. Okay, you have been seen dancing, drinking, carry on, having a good time throughout the points while people knew you were there until you were gone. Now it's the early morning and your parents can't find you, but you're a grown up. You're 23 years old. You go to the people who run the ship and you're like, this woman who really likes to drink is not here right now, even though it's pretty unlikely that she would be off the ship. She's probably somewhere hungover or sleeping it off in a boat somewhere on the deck or some nonsense. And it's just like, are we going to sound the alarm because a 23-year-old girl does not want to spend every waking moment with her parents, especially in the 90s where people didn't just have cell phones.
You're keying in on the fact that she was an adult. So this wasn't like a kid.
Yeah, because if it was a 7-year-old, it'd be a different animal. But again, this is like, hey, my daughter is missing. Right. Just, you're young. No, my 23-year-old daughter. Okay, maybe she's partying
adults
somewhere.
Are allowed to go missing.
We're not, keeping everybody on a leash here. And 90s, this was the Nokia brick for cell phones. You're not texting people. GPS isn't a thing, well, I mean, it is, but it isn't.
I guess I didn't really think of it in that regard that she was an adult. And, if you go to report an adult missing, they're going to tell you.
They say 48 hours for an adult, too.
There's, they're an adult. They're allowed to do this without telling you and blah, blah, blah. And you can say to the police all day, like, that's not like my loved one.
And they hear that all the time. Same with murders. That's like, they would never do that. I'm like, but until they did,
but again, I don't know. It just really is.
And I get where you're coming from.
Being that we were on a cruise, I would hope that if something happened to someone on the cruise, like the crew would do everything in their power to like figure out what happened. And it seemed like they didn't, because they asked them to, I don't know, sound some sort of an alarm.
Just put it over the PA.
And they didn't want to bother people.
Well, if you recall, when we report, they said, when you hear this horn,
right,
you have like 10 minutes. Like there's a horn to get back, a second horn to get the fuck back, and then the third horn is you got like 5 minutes, and the gangplank's going away, and they say to you, you're shit out of fucking luck. Like, yeah, if you can somehow get to wherever we're gonna make port next, you can get back on the boat. But like they flat out tell you you're shit out of luck. And this is 2025, right? Where things are a lot more stringent with regulations and stuff like that. I guarantee there were plenty of people who just got a little too lit at a cabana and got stuck on an island and had to pay $10,000 to get the Coast Guard to get them home or something like that.
Take the what is that, like a dinghy?
Yep.
Back.
But like, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that happened. And if that happened even on our cruise ship, do you think that the Disney Cruise Line would have put over the PA, hey, sorry guys, we left 4 passengers behind? No, they're not going to tell you about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that would ruin your experience. And then that's one of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. I'm not saying I agree with it, but the cruise lines probably living in let's say we got 10,000 people. Well, I'm over exaggerating. Well, 9,999 of them are fine. Like,
I know, but it's like, I don't know.
And she's a grown up. And that's the other thing. Like, I agree with you. I resonate with it.
The whole boat is now potentially a crime scene.
True. And then that's the other thing.
So you would think like you would have to secure it in some way because you have this unanswered question.
I think that the key word to what you said is it's still to this day would still be considered potentially a crime scene. But there's no evidence there. And the lack of evidence is not enough to say that some foul play happened. And
well, I really feel like, when you go to a police station,
there should be accountability somewhere.
Yeah. Well, when you go to you haven't seen, your sister in a few days,
sure.
And you go to the police station in your town to report her missing, and they say adults can go missing. Oh, okay. You're on land.
Right.
There's, when you're on a boat though, and you can't find them, it's like,
yeah, I would think they would have a little bit more impetus to do it, but I mean, and again, maybe today 100%
it's like
different.
Okay, you can tell me that my sister can go missing, but like it's a boat, so like someone should know where she is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm looking at through the lens of the 90s also, like it's like stay out till the street lights come on. Get the fuck out. It's summer. I don't want to see you back till dinner time. Like that mentality, like, and just in general was like the autonomy that we had that just doesn't exist in 2025, where you could just your whereabouts didn't have to be known until the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, just call me if you're going to be out past dinner, and that was common. That was everyone I knew growing up. I would be walking around town sometimes for hours, and then I'd just show up at a friend's house or I'd go home, like, so that level of just being at large essentially. And then now it's not, because I would never be able to let the kids just not give me an idea where they're at, So, but that was a different animal back then. So I think that, I mean, this is, again, I feel the cruise line had a lot more responsibility, though there was a lawsuit filed and it was dismissed.
It was dismissed.
So that you got to give that there. I mean, somebody looked at it.
I guess this is like for legal reasons.
Yeah.
The family files a wrongful death suit against the cruise line, but they don't even want to believe that she's dead.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and that was
didn't help their argument.
Maybe that was the only avenue that they were able to take.
Right.
But because who knows what the legal process is like. You can't sue someone for losing because you signed waivers and stuff like that. So, it's like we all sign the terms of service. We all click through it and never read it. We all fill out the waivers when they ask us to fill out the waivers. But when the waivers come due, sometimes people forget you basically said, if this happens, here's what we're going to do.
I think the most unsettling thing for me in the doc, because I am thoroughly convinced it's a death by misadventure situation. The fact that the FBI is involved, they're investigating. They've been investigating. And someone sends the family a picture of a woman who could be Amy, and the FBI, who has all the resources in the world to analyze and compare and blah, 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 they think that this woman in this photo could be Amy because of characteristics that match up. And
they measured the certain characteristics that don't change: cheekbones, chin,
so
forehead.
I was like, oh, wow. All right, let me take a second. Let me think about it. I still think death by misadventure.
Well, but also you look at it too. It could be.
Yeah.
And again, it's I'm giving you my answer is judging by what we have here. Could be. And in the world of the FBI, that's probably like, that would be enough to get a warrant if there was something to warrant. You know what I mean? Like, this is enough for them. But in this situation, it's like, it could be, but there's no further way to prove it. So, like, from our way that we test it, sure. Like,
what's really sad is that I think the brother is in his mid to late 40s now. The parents are in their 70s. They have no closure, and that is heartbreaking.
They put up a website. This is one of the things that I pointed out, and this is just shows how much of a bag of dicks humanity is. They put up a website that's like, this is up. It's still current, I believe. It's still up there. I don't know what the website is.
It's still an unsolved.
It's a website to be like, any information you have, blah, blah, blah. Well, they pointed out some fucking great instances of, your daughter's dead. She's been cut up into pieces and she's buried at the following coordinates. And they're like, so what you do with that is you have to take a breath. This is the mom. Take a breath and then look it up and find that the coordinates they gave you don't exist. You know, something like that. And that sucks. And then you got people that are like, the fucking stupid skip. Yeah, we have your daughter send us $10,000 and you'll get her back. Just a bunch of fucking dumbasses, dude. And it's just like, can we have one thing that is not fucked over by fucking greedy scumbag shitbags like that? Like, I'm going to take your pain and I'm going to try and weasel money out of you. Like, get a fucking job, dude. Like, you can't do anything without somebody trying to fuck somebody over. And it really is bothersome to me. And then they went on Dr. Phil.
Oh, yes. Well, Dr. Phil will take anyone.
Dr. Phil, it's ridiculous. I have a note here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, that's right. Dr. Phil.
Close with this.
Dr.
Phil.
Dr. Phil's a cunt, and I stand by that wholeheartedly. Think he's just the worst. I think he doesn't do anything good for society, and I think Oprah should have just stopped. Just don't stop.
He's a controversial.
Figure.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think happened to her? Can we make some money on this, please? Can we please get some money on this one? And how does that make you feel?
You know, I think that the parents.
No, they just wanted exposure.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I can't really blame them for
No.
that,
I don't blame them for going on Dr. Phil. I just think Dr. Phil's a piece of shit.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, prove me wrong, homie. I'm like, there's documentaries about how awful he is.
There's YouTube videos about 30 times Dr. Phil was exploited.
That whole Cash Me Outside chick sent her to a fucking weird reform camp.
Like a bad kids camp type thing. Yeah.
Like, good job for you. But so that's my thing on that. But I don't know. What else do you have on it? Anything else?
No, I mean, it's just a really sad story. I wish, I don't know how 30 years later there could possibly be any answers at this point, because I really do feel like she either fell. I think she fell.
Well,
I don't think she intentionally went to harm herself.
I don't think
personally,
so either.
I don't. But I think that, when you're heavily intoxicated, accidents can happen. And I think something may have happened where she fell. And then I am irritated by the response of the ship. I would hope that if I went to a crew member on board a cruise line that I was on, because I couldn't find someone in my party, that their response would be a little bit more urgent than...
Well, I would say on any cruise besides a Disney cruise, because if you signed up for Disney Plus and you die, you're not allowed to sue Disney. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So,
whatever happened with that?
I'm assuming they didn't get to sue for wrongful death.
No, because someone, was it they were in a park?
They were on
and they had
a ride and they died.
No. It was
Was it peanut allergy?
Yes, the wife died from a nut allergy, and it was like, oh well, you signed up for Disney Plus.
Yeah,
you
no
can't
fucking
sue
joke.
us.
Signed up for a free fucking trial. It wasn't even. That's what they said. It wasn't even signed up. They signed up for a free. So if you ever clicked on a fucking free trial at Disney Plus, you legally can't. The thing they wrote it out was like, you can't sue us for anything ever. And I'm like, first of all, how fucking is that legal? Because if that's legal, I'm going to start putting that like on everything that I sign from now on. But I'm like, no, I will say the Disney people were fantastic. And I feel like that's a whole different animal
And
now.
I feel like had we said, hey, Sarah's gone missing, I think that I don't know.
I also feel as litigious as society is now and everybody's looking for a quick fucking buck, they would stop the cruise at a dime.
You guys will have to let us know. Have you ever been on a cruise in the last
someone's gone missing for 30
in the
years.
last 5 years where there's been a medical emergency or something? Like, what happens if the cruise has to be interrupted for some reason? Because I have to imagine that that's happened. Someone has a heart attack on board.
Yeah, I feel
have
like
to port early.
well, that would be
or
a helicopter. They helicopter them to
but-
safety.
Yeah, but I don't know. So
Yeah,
let us know if you've ever experienced that, because I'm curious to see if there are any times where they would say, "Hey, we sorry about your trip.
Yeah.
Here's $500 towards your next cruise."
I do
or something."
guarantee standard operating procedure is everything proceeds as if nothing's happening, and do your best. Do everything you need to address issues A, B, and C, whatever they may be. But I guarantee it's like the guests are not to know if there's an emergency unless it is going to affect people at large. You know what I mean? Like, because that's super common. Like, even when I was doing stuff in the film industry, they'd be like, if something's going horribly wrong backstage, do not tell the producers or these people, like, it will be handled. Like, this is being handled by the people who handle it. Don't let the people who don't need to know about it and that kind of a thing. Like, but who knows? I mean, I do think today it would be handled wildly differently.
I hope so.
It was the 90s, man. That's all we got for you today. We got to go. We got kids. We got pets. We got all kinds of shit. I got video games. Elden Ring dropped its duos mode. My friend Luke, happy birthday, Luke. We're going to play that tonight. We're going to have some fun. Elden Ring Night Rain duos. Keep it up, people.
It doesn't even sound like English, what you just said.
You don't even know, though. You only live once. That's a motto, baby. Yell it. Day. Anywho, follow us on all the social medias. All the social medias at Do Mostly No Harm. Go to the website www.level42studios.com. Head on over to the contact page with a question, comment, or concern. Send us a line. Drop us a letter. Tell us we're awesome. Give us topics. Any kind of things you want us to talk about, let us know. We're happy to. And like I said, you could drop topics for Sarah Spills if you want her to cover something or something to talk about on Reality Squad, whatever you want. Level42studios.com. I want lots of traffic there, guys. I need some new stuff. I'm running. If you go to the website, it has all the stuff we've covered from listener requests.
Yeah.
And it has the upcoming listener requests. And after this one, which by the time this is posted, it will be pop down on the done one. I only got 2 listener requests to address going forward. So keep that thing, keep me flesh with ideas. Fresh with ideas.
That could have gone up.
All right, we got to go. So as always, Sarah, do mostly
No harm. Bye,
Peace.
guys.